first disagreement is with your lumping unions in there as special interests. I disagree with that. I'm sorry, if you want more, sir, but I'd like to be able to respond, but you finish. Are you finished? Okay. Let me go back again. I think that denigrating unions that way is a great mistake. No, you said all we talk to are lobbyists, special interest unions. If that's praise, boy, then I'd hate to hear your criticism. The fact is that you were lumping unions in as people who were not legitimate and valid representatives of average working men and women. I disagree with that. I have found labor unions to be, here in Massachusetts, here in southeastern Massachusetts, very important. The building trades, the food and commercial workers, the people who represented the fishermen. They're
13% of the population, aren't they?
Yes, so does that mean that they don't count? 13% of the population is kind of a lot, and it should be, I guess I don't understand, is it because you don't like what I'm saying, that you don't want me to say it? What's that?
Answer the question.
I was answering the question by saying that I disagree. I'm proud that I work with unions and working men and women, and I think they are very representative of people who need some help. Secondly, when you say that's who I spend 99% of my time with, you're extremely wrong. I am very proud of the fact that I spend a lot of time here in my congressional district meeting with a wide range of people. I don't generally call meetings. I frankly think those tend not to be terribly useful. I have not been wholly dissuaded from that view by this evening's performance by some. I have found that it's most useful for me to accept invitations from people in my district and go and meet with them on their turf where they feel comfortable, where there's no effort to kind of turn out the troops on one side or the other. There's nothing wrong with that, but it seems to me less likely to give me a representative group of people. So I am glad to accept invitations, as I do all over my district, as I have done during this recess, and that's what I originally was doing here, to go and meet with people. I noticed there was something in the Standard Times complaining that I was in Situate, as if I didn't have a passport to go there. In February, I was in Situate because a group of Democratic town committees in that area asked me to come, even though they weren't my districts. I haven't been able to do as much with people outside my district since I became committee chairman, but I do. I was in Wareham the other day, I was in Plymouth the other day, going to meetings that other people have. So your suggestion that I don't listen to average people is dead wrong. I was in New Bedford last week. A couple of people came to my office who want to talk about health care. My policy is anybody in my district who wants to see me comes to see me, so I just reject that. Secondly, the fact that the Constitution was only a small number of pages and this bill is bigger is not really a very valid argument against the bill. The Constitution was meant to be broad general principles. It wasn't, and by the way, even then, it was too short because the guys who wrote the Constitution forgot a Bill of Rights. So they admitted that in their haste, and I'm very glad that they corrected themselves by passing a Bill of Rights. Yes, they had a lot of things. But the fact is that a Constitution is different than a law, as it should be, because the Constitution has broad general principles, and the law is much more specific. In fact, some of the complaints that we've had is that there weren't enough specifics. People thought maybe that the language about illegal people here wasn't tough enough, or some of the other protections weren't tough enough. But the general point that I don't listen, no, I spend a lot of time talking, for instance, to fishermen who don't have health care, sir. You tell me I'm just talking to lobbyists? My desire to increase health care is spent in part by that. I've worked and I've toured the New Bedford Community Health Center. Not a lot of lobbyists there, really not. A lot of poor people who need health care. And the very dedicated people who work there for very little money. And I try to get them more money. So I don't apologize for the people I have responded to. I've been through state groups. I've been to the people who are the unions, not lobbyists, the unions who represent hospital workers, who represent people who are emptying bedpans, and who are shaving people to get ready for operations and clean up messes that sick people make. Yes, I do work with those people, and it's in their interest that I am pushing for health care. People have a right to disagree, but I reject the no. What's the matter with you all? No, I don't know whether you get angry when I answer the questions or when you think I'm not. I think you don't like it when I do. Yes, sir.